Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm excited to be joined by my friend and colleague, Jen Orvis. We're going to be talking about turning vendor managed inventory into a profit driving asset today. How are you doing today, Jen?
Good.
Awesome. So, Jen has worked in this world of industrial supplies for many, many years. And we partner with Shelfaware in this area. And just to give our audience a little background, Jen, can you talk about what you're seeing as major issues in inventory management going into 2026?
Yeah, really kind of some of the basics, understanding how many of these items do we need to have on hand that's not affecting cash flow? When are we placing our orders? Are these orders accurate? How do we avoid stockouts and actually create lean processes essentially into um, service and ordering inventory, particularly on these C parts, because the the challenging part is there's products inside of these operations that cost pennies, but if they're not ordered correctly, can end up costing millions.
Right, right. Because they shut down production and caused major league issues and rework and all kinds of things. So, absolutely. I've seen that as well over the years working in supply chain, for
Mhm.
30 some odd years now. Hard to believe. But yeah, so how are suppliers using the shelf-aware VMI to drive more profit?
Well, it's providing more value. When you can provide more value to your customer, then there is more profit. So right now, for example, if you understand, okay, we're selling these C parts into this manufacturing and they are using these three parts all together. You can package those together rather than each individual one in a bin. That's a real value added service that if you're not using a VMI, you're spending your time doing a lot of other things and you're not able to do certain customization or build in some of those efficiencies. So that's just one example, but it's really being able to listen to the customer more and then accommodate what it is that their needs are to save them
Right.
time.
So focusing your time on what their needs are and it's solving problems, and they bring more to you, and then and the margins are good because you're providing great value. So
Mhm.
absolutely, and on the flip side, what happens when you don't adopt VMI into your sales and customer service processes?
Well, right now, Andy, it's almost like it's a train that's moving and you kind of have to get on it. What
Right.
I find, I talk to a lot of suppliers, and some of them just they don't really want to understand all of the ways that they can be bringing benefit into their customers. And it's not because they're negligent, it's because the other things are a priority. And I understand that. But there are suppliers who are paying attention. There are suppliers who understand how they can bring more value to their customers and they are more competitive. They really do have an advantage. So, um, if you're not looking at, if you don't have all the arrows in your quiver as to how VMI works and the different vehicles of bringing that into your customer, your business is vulnerable. So, one piece though that I'd like to offer, and of course, I am very close with shelfware. I talk to them about shelfware using RFID tags. I find that to be the best. I think it is the most efficient, and but there are other ways of doing it. Shelfware has created what's called Shelfware Learn, and it is a knowledge base, which I guess 70% of the people now prefer using a knowledge base versus calling up someone to learn and ask questions. So we have a knowledge base that I just want to extend. If someone wants to talk to me about BMI and whether they want to get into RFID tags or they're interested in some of the other ways, I am happy to talk with them about it. Shelfware really wants to be the expert in supporting this effort into the marketplace to really just build efficiency. That's what we're most passionate about. And if just having a conversation helps someone um, be able to get on board with where the market's going, we're happy to do that.
Right. Absolutely. It definitely streamlines things. And what I see from an outside viewpoint, it really helps streamline customer service and sales to where you can focus more time on value add, right? Value added activities and meeting with the executives and less time chasing things, it seems to me from everything I see. So, and what changes when inventory is managed from real consumption data instead of min max assumptions?
Well, you're not forecasting, you're using real data, and this is efficient whether you're doing a consignment, you have a just-in-time program, you're just wanting to improve your monthly order that is going over and over. And, for example, we have one example just to kind of put this into a frame for the listener. If you have 500 POs that are going out to a company, that's about 2,500 PO lines. What you can assume is that's around 3,000 emails to uh, facilitate those orders. And if you're using that's about 2,000 hours. So if you think about that to your point of more value added, what could a sales rep do or your CSR do with 2,000 hours?
Right.
A, a lot when it comes to helping. And that's what secures your business right now. When I said you're vulnerable if you're not into these efficiencies, that's why. It's not,
Right.
oh, you don't have the latest and greatest technology. That you may lose a customer because you don't have the latest and greatest technology, but it's, oh, these people care about my business and they're bringing solutions and they're finding new ways of packaging things. And they're helping us with our inventory process. Holy cow, do you know the time people spend doing their inventory process?
Right.
And we have a way of breaking that down and helping a team learn some of the things they need to learn. And then being able, once they execute the technology with the information, it's a breeze.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've interviewed customers of Shelf Aware, and they just rave about how much it streamlines things and makes life so much easier. Literally makes life so much easier as well. So it's fun to watch what's going on with it. And, looking ahead to the year ahead, what does protecting production actually require from suppliers beyond just delivering parts?
Yeah, it really goes back to what we've been talking about with protecting their ability to not be just forecasting those numbers, delivering on what is actually needed, being able to replenish that without any sweat. Um, the inventory process being much simpler, being able to go in and install VMI, a lot of times that's the barrier, or at least a speed bump. How we don't know how to start. Well, uh, we've had suppliers talk with us. They say, we're going to bring it into our warehouse. We're going to invite our customers in to experience it. And they're all going to come through this funnel. So we have control over how they learn it. And we feel like it's being rolled out effectively. We have some that just want to do a pilot where they put it in to one customer and see how it goes. What I can tell you though, to help some of the reluctant late adopters say, okay, we need to start looking into this to do an installation, it's about 12 hours on the weekend, not disrupting any type of production. That's the example with the company that happened to save 2,000 hours and 3,000 emails in ordering. Over the
Right.
weekend, Shelfware was in there for 12 hours getting them up and running. They came in and all of a sudden things were efficient. So this is not disruptive to your customers. And right now, knowledge is power. You just want to know what this all entails. So you really can protect that business that you have because the industry, I kind of laugh. This was kind of fun. I've been thinking about what are some of those industries that just changed? It's like the cordless phone.
Right.
There aren't going to be sales reps with clipboards going in. It's to place orders. And, you know, accuracy is going to be a way of protecting production also. So, anyway,
Right. Absolutely.
yeah.
It's here. It's happening. It's
Mhm.
rolling out. Um, and it is a vulnerability. If you don't adopt the things that are helping your clients, then you're vulnerable to others swooping in, frankly. And so, absolutely, it's a part of protecting your operations and helping your customers do more, right? More with less, with less time, with less money, etc. So, if you could give manufacturers and suppliers one piece of advice about VMI going into this year, what would it be?
To ask the question, what's the risk of not adopting VMI? What is at stake?
Right.
And something we haven't touched on is labor. You know, if someone's counting and someone's checking for accuracy and then someone's following up and then if you look down the road, are you gonna have the people to do those tasks? Uh,
Right.
so, and that's just another point, I guess, that we hadn't brought up yet. But what is the risk of not changing? And is this the place you want to be the late adopter?
Right, right. Now labor is a big thing.
Hmm.
Removing mundane tasks and removing repetitive mundane tasks, frankly, can only help in your retention of your employees. And it just helps the entire supply chain, really does. So, I think it's an awesome technology. It's making big impacts. We've had guests on our shows talking about it with their companies, right? It's fun to hear what all is happening for the companies that are adopting it. So it's fun to hear. So, more to come on this front in the months ahead. And thanks for coming on with me, Jen. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Andy. It's always a pleasure.
And that'll wrap for this week. Thanks for listening or watching, everybody. And we will see you again on the next one. Take care.